Hey there, it's John, and welcome to Cycling on a Shoestring. I hope you're getting out riding. I'm doing this on my phone right now. I want to show you something I just bought, but just my thought process into buying the bike I just purchased. I've been kind of thinking old school as of late, kind of nostalgia, thinking back to, about 20 years ago when I used to do my mountain biking, when things were a lot different than they are today. I remember my early mountain bikes. I had a fully rigid Diamondback. Then my first mountain bike with suspension would have been a Kona Lavadome. I broke that one, bought a Kona Kula, broke that one, went full suspension, got a Kona King Kickapoo. I sold that a couple of years ago. Of course, they were all 26-inch wheels. So I started thinking about getting myself a 26-inch wheel bike again, just to kind of go back into my past. Then I started thinking about 27 and a half plus for some reason, 2.8-inch wheels, maybe 3 inches. But then I landed on something completely different. And the reason I'm buying this is because I sold that fat bike I purchased in the wintertime. You may have seen the video. I found a Diodora fat bike. I rode it a bunch of times, but it was just a little bit too small for me. Don't think it was quite the right bike for me. So I sold it. Didn't really make any money or lose any money on it. But I purchased the bike I'm going to show you right now. So let me turn the camera around and you can take a look. Pretty cool. So this is what I purchased. This is a Rocky Mountain ETSX70, and as you can see, it's a full suspension mountain bike. I'm thinking this is the 2008 model, okay? I did a little bit of research into this. They made this bike for about 6 years, and it is a full suspension bike, and it's got some really interesting aspects to it, which I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to start off in the front end, and of course, as I mentioned, it's a 26er. What I like about this is the tires. It's Panaracer Fire XC Pros. They're 2.1s on this, and I remember when I used to ride my old bikes, I used to always think about buying these tires. Never did. I was used to ride IRC Mythos tires, which I still think you can get these days, even in 29ers. So that's what's on here. And of course, you've got disc brakes on this. Might upgrade the discs on this, make it a little bit bigger on the front. I haven't ridden this a whole lot, but I did clean it this morning. Now, as far as the fork goes, very, very cool fork. This is the Fox Talus fork. So this, you can change the travel on the fork. So right now, I believe I've got it at 100 millimeters. If I reach over here, and hopefully I can do this, I'll see if you can see this. You can change it. See, it just got longer, and it got longer again. So you can go from 100 to 120 and 140 millimeters of travel just by flipping the switch on it, which is really, really cool. And the thing about it is it changes the head angle on the bike so that you can, if we're going downhill and whatnot, it really does change the geometry of this bicycle. Very neat is the fact that it's got really kind of narrow bars on it. That's the other thing I noticed immediately, that these bars were very narrow. I think I'm going to stick with them. I want this to kind of remain as sort of an old school bicycle, okay? So you look at the brake levers, they're Oro brake levers. XTR shifters on here. It's got an XTR reel derailleur, which I'll show you in just a moment. Okay. Now, so we'll go to the back here. Now, the swing arm on this, as you can see, it hasn't really got a rear triangle. So the nice thing about this, no chain slap, but this is made out of carbon fiber right here. This is a 3x9. So again, you've got a Shimano XTR on the back here. It does have some race face on here, the bar, the stem, and of course the cranks as well are race face. So again, a 3x9 on this, which is just fine with me. Now moving back to the shock, pretty cool shock on here. This is a Float RP23 from Fox, and it's, well, I'll show you how you can change the rear travel on this bike as well, which is another cool feature. This has got what's called Pro Pedal Tune on it, and it's kind of hard to see, but you can see, almost looks like there's a lockout on this down here, okay? You've got your rebound adjustment here. This is where you flip it into Pro Pedal. Now there's another little switch on here, which is kind of hard to see, but you can pop this out and change it from 1 to 2 to 3. Now I don't know a lot about this yet, but basically it's kind of like a lockout, but it's got different settings. So on the number 1, when you flip it over here, when you're climbing uphill, it will have a little bit of squish to it. But if you put it on 2, it'll have a medium squish, and then it'll be much more firm if you put it on 3 when you're going uphill. Now, the neat thing about this bike is, and I find very fascinating, let me turn the camera around here. Let's do this, is that right here, you've got this quick release, okay? And if you can see it, it's kind of hard to see, but it's printed on this aluminum piece here, 4.5, 4, 4.5, and 5. So all you do is you change from this spot to this spot to this spot, and you go from 4 to 4.5 to 5 inches of travel. So you can change up to 5 inches on the back or just have it at 4 or 4.5. So a very neat feature of this bike right there. I think it's beautifully made. I've got my old Shimano 535s on here. Okay, I've had these for 25 years. They beat the hell out of them. Still working today. I just popped that cap off there and put some grease in them every once in a while. Probably get some different clipless pedals for this. But overall, it's a very cool bike. I've got it set up. I kind of set it up for sag this morning, put the correct pressure in it. I'm going to go out and give it a bit of a ride right now. But I paid about $600 for this, which I think was a decent price. It's in pretty darn good condition for the age of the bike, and I think it is very, very cool. So I'm going to fool around with it a little bit, and I might even do what I could call, I guess, a retro review of this bike. But I just thought I'd show it to you because this is the kind of thing I've been thinking about as of late. I think it's a fun bike, and I'm going to go out and give it a little bit of a ride right now, and I think you'll be seeing more of this in the future. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Hey, please give me a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel as well. I'll see you next time on Cycling on a Shoestring.